in your mind without having thought about who really won? Who would like your mind would you thought of would have won?
Who do I think would have won for the Cobras and Dragons game?
Yeah, if you didn't watch if you like, just for say you didn't know, just off the season stats.
Man, well, honestly, I think that I just went live now, so let's see if it worked. I believe. I just want to make sure that we're live right now, and see if it worked or not. Because I don't think it did. Oh, it does say we're live right now.
Huh?
Okay, so who I think would... We're live streaming in the pregame show right now. And Rhino's owner just asked me who do I think would win for the Cobras and the Dragons game. And honestly, I think that the Cobras and the Dragons were going to put up a good fight. But honestly, I think the Cobras have to be in the lead in the fourth quarter in order to win this. Because of how well the Dragons play in the fourth quarter. The Dragons play so well from behind. And honestly, the Dragons play like they're at home every game. The owner said it in his interview that they feel like they're playing away games every game, every week, right? And it's because they were the last team for the power rankings, and they're here, and they're ready to kick butt, man. These Dragons, man, they're a scary bunch to play and to have come to your hometown. But guess what? The Dragons only lost a few times, right? 3 times. One of them was to the Cobras, though. So the Cobras can keep up with them offensively, and they are a powerhouse to deal with, right? The Cobras are one of the most deceiving teams because they ended the season 8th. They ended the season last in the league, bro.
Yeah, and I'm still scratching my head. I'm still trying to figure how that happened.
Because they score when they need to score. They respond well. Yeah. They're a team that when you score on them, they respond. You know what I mean? Like, they play to their competition. There are teams like it out there. You know, there's lots of teams out there that they play better when they play better teams. They do, right? Like, it's almost as if they dumb down when they're playing other teams that aren't as offensive and they play to their style. Like, where the Cobras kind of can...
And also, they don't have to play so hard because they have the number 1 overall defense and this number, I think, 2 overall rush defense. So they're stopping the ball. So, it takes the pressure off the offense, always having to come in and bail them out if the defense slips up. They can rely on the defense to really get them out of those games in a pinch.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you think? I gave my 2 cents on the Cobras and Dragons game, and then we'll move into the Piranhas and Blue Jays game that's starting in about 20 minutes. So give us your feedback. The Rhinos, give us your pregame speech on what you think's going to happen and how it's going to end, and maybe give us a final score for the Cobras and Dragons game.
Well, I'll tell you one thing I know for sure.
No.
They are going to have to find a way to score the ball. Because, don't get me wrong, both teams can move the ball. But in order for the Scorpions to pull this out, they got to score points. And I mean, they got to go to Williams as well. They got to use Williams as a primary target on some of their pass plays because as soon as the ball snapped, everybody's all over Drennan. That's it. He's done. They gotta be able to get Williams on some slants going across the field or some drop routes where Simmons can start moving the ball slowly, methodically down the field. If they just start throwing it around all crazy, the Dragons are going to tear them apart because it's very precise the way they play the ball, and when Perkins is on his game, he's popping them pills, and he's going straight to the house. So I would definitely suggest they have the eighth rate, like you said, one of the worst offenses, if not the worst offense in the league. Okay, so they need to find a way to score points. I mean, you could call this game down the line, okay? Because if they both have good games, and say if both quarterbacks have good games, what does it always come down to at the end? Defense. If Platt comes out slinging it, 300 plus yards, 6 touchdowns, okay, the Dragons are going to win. But if they can't get over the hump of like maybe half of scoring points, they're done. The Dragons are going to take over. So, I mean, the Cobras are going to take over. So I want to go, I'm going Cobras, and I'm not giving a point spread because, you know, this is just too unfamiliar territory for me to actually say who's going to win by how much and how accurate.
Well, the last game when they played in week 2, it ended 31-28. And both of these teams come in with the first-rated defense with the Dragons and the second-rated defense in the Cobras. So I'm expecting a low points. I'm going to give it, I'm going to say right now, out of nowhere, if I was looking at this objectively, I'm going to say, because the last game was 31-28, I'm going to give it 35-31. I don't know what side though. Like, you know, it's gonna be within
pretty,
something like that. It's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be within 3. I'm gonna go out there and say it's gonna be within 3, maybe.
You know, as we all know, the curse of the CSFL kickers will be in effect, and there is going to be a blunder. But you know, those 3 points are starting to determine games. So we'll see whose kicker can buckle down and put it through, or we'll see who will be having a very hard time with this L, because an L must be given out.
Yeah, with the championship game, title game on appearance on the line. So whoever wins this game goes to the championship game next week. To play either the winner of the Blue Jays and the Piranhas, and that is just the perfect segue to the game that's coming up here at 1 o'clock, so Eastern on YouTube. So what do you think about this Piranhas and Blue Jays game? The Piranhas actually are on the road going to the Blue Jays. They played in week 7. But they were at home. The Piranhas were at home, and they had the first seed on the line. So in week 7, they lost to the Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays stole the first seed. But if they would have won that game, they would have been at home this week in front of their home fans and would have hosted a playoff game in their first year franchise. But now they're on the road with a sour taste on their mouth, going against these Blue Jays that are projected to win, but it depends on what kind of style the Piranhas go in with, right? Because the Piranhas have a very heavy passing offense, and as we know, the Blue Jays can keep up to any team in the shootout. So what do you think is how do you see this game playing out?
The Blue Jays, for one, let's give respect where respect is due. Let's give them their flowers. Blue Jays had a great season, but even Superman has a kryptonite, right? So the way I see it is the Piranhas are going to have to really show out when it comes to offense. They're going to have to mix things up. You know, they're pretty low ranking in the offensive side, 6 and 4. So they have their moments, but for a team like the Jays, I mean, it's just not feasible to me how they could come into this game as any kind of favorite. You know, they really have to play a flawless game and have no mistakes at all. I mean, they can't drop the ball anywhere. Alonzo Graham, he needs to really be focused. he just needs to get the ball out quicker. I think he needs to get the ball out quicker for everyone to get involved in the mix. He's gonna need his wideouts. He's gonna need Preston. He's gonna need what's his name, Watson. So they definitely have a chance to win if the Jays have a stumble or a fumble on their end, which, as we've seen during the season, there hardly has been one. They've been balling out of control. Okay, and the Higgins has been running like a man on fire. Okay, Ralph Dorsey is Ralph Dorsey. Okay, we all know about him. But it's just the fact that the Piranhas had such a surge at the end of the season. It was almost astronomical. So for them to come into this game and take the Blue Jays out, they would be the heavy favorites to win it all.
I would say so. I feel that way about the Cobras because the Cobras beat the Dragons and they beat the Blue Jays. They're like the only team to do something like that that's in the playoffs right now besides the Blue Jays. So yeah. I think that if the Cobras win and the Blue Jays win, they're going to be really worried about the Cobras. For sure. Like, they're nervous about those Cobras. So I definitely, on your point for the Piranhas, that if the Piranhas somehow take down Goliath, I think that they would be kind of hard not to favor them, but it depends on how they win. Do they win because the Blue Jays make mistakes, or do they win because they just outplay them? Is totally two different things, right? So if they outplay these guys and light it up, right? Then that's, and it's not even close, or it's fucking super close and it comes right down to the wire in a shootout. You know what I mean? What is the best team, or is that not the case? Is it going to be a running game? Because Blaine Higgins, once he starts going, they'll hand it to him. They've had games where he's had 20 carries or more. Right?
Yeah. And the double side of that is that the Blue Jays have an insurance policy with that cornerback core and Alex Campbell, the X factor. You know what I'm saying? If he gets going and if he starts shutting people down, I mean, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for the Piranhas. Sorry, Piranhas, but if you can't come out strong and fast and at least be up by a touchdown or two miraculously before the half, it's going to be a hard climb, because once Higgins gets that ball, he's going to start running and nobody's going to be able to stop him. I'm saying Higgins might have a big game. He might have a big game. He has a let me see here. He has a line here that he can pretty much get through, and they got some studs up front there. But Fred Jones on the Piranhas is on the Blue Jays is a great center, so he'll be able to hold down the line with this Piranha defense. So it can really go both ways. I think it's going to come down to game plan and preparation, to tell you the truth. It better come down to preparation and game plan for the Piranha's sake, or else this can get ugly really fast.
Absolutely. Yeah, and they're on the road. And honestly, the Piranhas do not have a good running game. They really don't. They don't have a good running game with Willie Burnside's. They do.
Burnside, he's been quiet. Burnside has been quiet. You know what I'm saying? And he had one good game, I believe, in week 1 or something, or week 2. He had one good game, and because I think he burned me for a couple good long games. He was over 100 yards.
He burned the Rhinos.
So he's been quiet all season. Nobody's had anything to really say about Burnside. If he comes out and has a phenomenal game, the best thing for him would be trade bait. He'd be a good person to get a ball club going if they need a running back or something like that. He needs to have a big, strong game. His numbers have been down, and I think that would help him get to a position where he needs to be in the season, after the season as well.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, for sure. I would agree for sure.
Piranhas, I think the Piranhas definitely off season. They need to pick up a running back if they want to survive at all in the league this year.
Yeah, so Andre Watson is their key guy. He leads the team in touchdowns. He's got 8 touchdowns, which is 6th best in the league for the season. He's also got 777 yards, which is 7th best in the season. And also he's got 34 catches, which is 5th best in the season out of all the receivers. And it's Andre Watson, number 88, is their go-to guy on offense for the Piranhas.
Yep.
Maybe we could talk about Andre Watson for a second while I bring up the next graphic for Montreal Adams. So what do you think about the Blue Jays? Oh, did we lose you there? Well, we can't hear you. But yeah, we lost the Rhinos owner there. But let's talk about these Blue Jays. Blue Jays here also have Antrell Adams. And he's got the 14th most catches in the league. He's got, with 27, he's got 728 yards, which is 5th best in the league. And he's also got 11 touchdown catches, which is 2nd best in the league. And these teams are playing each other in about 9 minutes, coming up live here on YouTube at the CSFL pregame show here for the playoffs. Whoever wins here gets a chance to gets a ticket to go to the championship game. So that's really exciting news for these two franchises that had their season. And the Blue Jays are 5-1-1, and the Piranhas on the left in orange are 4-3. So thank you so much for watching the pregame show. The games start in a few more minutes. And we'll be back to talk about the results. Enjoy the games.